Very good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all on this evening from Snikriya Foundation. And I'm Harshali Karche. I'm the founder and the director of Snikriya Foundation. Welcomes you in today's webinar. Before that, I would like to slightly brief about SNIC. SNIC is Special Integration Center, and rehab is rehabilitation, empowerment, health, advocacy, and belief. Sorry. Our vision main is to empower parents of children with special needs by ensuring their peace of mind, satisfaction, and positivity with respect to their child's overall development. Our mission is to sensitize, educate the society about the challenges faced by special needs parents. Also, to provide an appropriate perspective to the parents about treatment, therapies, approaches in favor of child's development, to bring better clarity about myths, beliefs, misunderstanding with regards to issues, disorder, and dysfunction. Our motto is to set the foundation of parents' body and capable of providing solution to the challenges faced by parents of special needs. Uh, for that, we are here with various webinar series, and today we are here for the one of the important topic in financial planning series, importance of budgeting for special need child. For that, we have with us Mr. Jitendra Solanki, who is the founder of Plan Special Needs, SEBI registered investment advisor, CFP and CTP, and founder and director at Special Needs Estate Planner Private Limited. I welcome everyone and I'll welcome Mr. Jitendra Solanki for today's talk. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. So welcome to all parents, and today, yes, we are on a very important topic, and in fact, I'll call it the basics of any financial planning, and that is budgeting. Why budgeting is important, and when you have a special need child to care, it becomes more important than otherwise to have a budget. Now, it serves multiple purpose. First of all, why you need to have a budget? Because you should be aware about your cash flows, what's in, what's out. Second, it helps you to keep you on toes, how you are spending your money. And third, it helps you to identify the future financial requirements of your special need child. So we are going to talk today on budget and how you can create a budget, and we will show you a budgeting sheet which we have created for families. So first of all, why prepare a budget? Why is budgeting important? As I said, it helps you identify and achieve financial goals, helps you manage your money, because when you are budgeting, as simple as when you are budgeting for your household expenses, for example, when you go for a grocery shopping, so everybody makes a budget, says what you have in hand and how much you have to spend, and what is left out, from which you will going to buy any other item. Similarly, that's a one element of your budgeting, but when we come to overall finances of your house, then also the same budgeting rule applies. The knowing about what's coming in into your hand, how much you are spending it, and what is it that which is left in your hand to invest for the future for your goals. So helps you manage your money, increase your savings. Now, uh, once you are following a budget, so it helps you to know that what is the amount of saving you are having, and generally when you are link it to your financial goals, then whether that saving is adequate or not, you are able to know. And when you prepare a budget, you know very well at each and every money which is being spent, you can identify that way you can decrease or increase or uh, basically adjust your expenses to increase your savings. Direct your money flow. So when you prepare a budget, when you follow a budget, you can direct where that money should be spent. Otherwise, it's plain as simple that we are not knowing where our money is going. But when I'm following a budget, I am directing where my money needs to be spent. Prepares you for contingencies, any contingency which can come up. You have adequate savings in your head, and provide sense of financial security, because you know, you are aware what is there in your cash flow. You know, you are living within your means, and that's why there is a sense of financial security. So, but what happens when you don't have a budget, when you are not following a budget? So without a budget, you are unaware of your financial situation. Anyone who is not following a budget, will not be aware that where I'm spending my money and whether I'm saving my adequate money or not. And uh, most importantly, you might be, uh, spending the right amount of money for your say groceries or household expenses, but maybe your lifestyle expenses might be higher. So you are not actually aware of your exact financial situation. Surviving month to month, you are not prepared for any emergencies. So when you are not following a budget, any emergency comes up, will you have adequate savings? Then that will be difficult to identify. No budget, no savings. And yes, if the rule applies that when you are not following a budget, then everything which is there in your hand is for you to spend. And most of the time, even with youngsters, we have seen that they do not follow a budget, and so they are not able to save. And that's where, when you are not following a budget, so save, I won't say no saving, but maybe saving may be less. But if you follow a budget, you might be able to adjust your cash flows to have more savings. No investment ideas if you do not know your budget. So when largely your investment ideas comes, your thoughts of investing your money comes when you have a cash flow in your hand, when you are able to save. If I am able to save 5,000 per month, I'll have ideas accordingly. But if I am able to save maybe 25,000 per month, I'll need investment ideas where I can allocate that money. So your investment ideas, the thought of investing your money, will only come when you follow a budget, and when you have savings in your hand. And absence of a budget can keep you in debt. So if you borrow your money, most of us do that. It's a car loan, housing loan, or any other loan we take. So that is part of your budget, that is part of your expenses. And any expenditure you are doing, whether that is adequate enough or not, you shouldn't be having it, or whether it is beyond your means or within your means, you can only identify all these obstacles or identify all these when you are following a budget. And absence of that, I think, any EMI you are paying, we will be living like, that is adequate, that is good for us, but that might not be the reality. So these are pros and cons of following a budget. Now, so element of a budget, what budget comprises of, when you are following a budgeting, for your expenses. So what kind of expenses you can note down, or you can monitor? Fixed expenses. So this will be generally comprises of outflows where month on month you know them very well, because it's a fixed amount. House rent, loan EMIs, etc. They are a fixed amount. So you know this outflow. You are well aware what is the payout. You are well aware how much money is being spent on all these items, because it's a fixed amount you are spending. And these fixed expenses tend to increase after a specific period, like your rent. So house rent will increase after a specific period. Your EMIs can increase, and there might be other items, other fixed expenses, which will increase after a specific period. So you are able to monitor them very closely, and with a definite expenditure, that how much you're going to spend on that today and in the future. Second element is a variable expenses. Expenses where you know the payout but not the exact amount. So like your utility bills, telephone bills, now these can vary month on month. You would be knowing what is the payout for you. For example, utility bill, like all of us estimate, that in summers, because ACs are on, so our bills, electricity bill might come up to 5,000 to 6,000, and at times it might reduce to 1,000, 2,000. So you are able to estimate, as I said. So you know the payout, but do not know the exact amount. So it's very within a range based on your usages. So all of these utility, telephones, and any other expenses will vary within a range based on how much you are using them. No exact figure, but when you track them for a certain period, then you can identify this range. For example, I have, I'm tracking my, say, electricity expenses for last, so many years. I know today very well that what is my payout now. So I know very well that at these months, my payout will be around 2,000. Within these summer months, my payout will be around 6,000. So I'm able to track it, monitor it, and after a certain period, I can clearly identify what is the range for me. Then comes a discretionary expenses, which largely we do not track. And these are, I would say, these comprises, the good part of your household budget. Like outing, moving, dining, and we tell them the lifestyle expenses. So you are not aware how much your family is spending on monthly basis. You would be doing it, but you haven't tracked, because tracking them is not easier. You have to track it's not a fixed outgo. It can vary month on month. It can vary with, each outing or each movie you go to. So these are the three kind of expenses which will be largely from the budget, of which you will follow for your family. So one is the fixed expenses, you would know. One is the variable expenses. You would know to a certain extent. You would have a range. And third is the discretionary expenses, which you are not aware of. You do not generally track, but can be a good part of your household budget. And we always say that when you have to start somewhere, when you thinking of that, where would I start managing my finances? And the first aspect is that start preparing a budget. First, understand your cash flows, and that's where you will know, or you will be better of knowing about your financial situation. Largely, most of the families or any individual who track month on month their budget, they are more aware about their financial situation, how much they can save, where they are spending, is that spending within their means, so they are able to follow. Now, when you have a special need child, our, our take is that you should follow two kind of budgets. One budget, it should be separate for special need child, and second budget is your household family budget. So I'll show you with the exact expense worksheet which we have prepared. You will also find this in my book, and uh, okay, I'll share the screen again. So this is a special needs child only for the child expense worksheet. Now this is not your household budget, but this is where you are tracking only your special child expenses. Now how we have done it, you can do it in your own manner. You can uh, have headings according to your convenience, but this is one format which we prepared and which we thought can cover most of the areas of expenses. So like the first is your living expenses, house rent, utilities. Now this can be common at one time, and but when you are thinking about the future, this can come into picture separately only for the child. So house rent, utilities will comprise the living expenses. Then comes day-to-day care. So domestic help, any domestic help you have hired for your child expenses, for child personal affairs. Driver expenses, you have hired any driver for day-to-day care, where you might be sending him to school, and any other expenses. So the second heading is day-to-day care. The third is the child personal needs, which is generally the food, the outings, clothing, accessories, other expenses. Now, all of these are generally, mostly the families do not, separate this out, where the food, outings, clothing, accessories is part of the family budget. But when we are preparing a special child budget, it's important that you separate out these. Yes, certainly the estimations would be there in the initial years, but after a certain time you will be able to track these. So this is child personal needs, then inclusive school cost, or any way, any school you are sending your child. So what is the transportation cost, clothing, any coaching, books, any other expenses you are having. So you look at the school cost, you note down the school cost. Now this is month on month you are tracking this. Then cost for special equipments. So wheelchair, any modification in current living environment, eyeglasses, contact lenses, visual aid equipments, any other equipment cost. So any other which you think, which, one second. So any other equipment cost which you think would be there for your child today or tomorrow, you can include it here. And health needs, healthcare. So doctor's visit, therapy, medicines, transportations. So if your child is going to a doctor and there are transportation expenses. So what are the health needs? Social, recreational, entertainment, telephone, mobile, internet, vacation, outings, any membership. So social and recreational expenses, so that will be come. And then the miscellaneous expenses, any insurance premium which you are paying for your child. It can be any specific insurance from uh, for the any insurance premium for your child. So this is a budget, or this is an expense chart only for the child. And that's why we are saying that when you are making a budget, and that's where the budget is so important, because you are able to identify head on head, you are able to identify all kind of expenses which is being spent, for your child care. Now why this is important? It's because you're going to identify the future financial requirements. And when you identify the future financial requirements, then this is going to be important. So this is one, how you identify the budget for the child. Now comes the family expenses. So there is a budget for the child, and then you have the family budget, where overall the expenses are being maintained. So this is a family expense worksheet, where you are looking at all so this is the total expenses. Now you have created a separate budget for the child. This is the total expense, and which I said, a fixed variable expense. These are kind of expenses which you are aware of, whether within a range or whether knowing the exact outgo. So you know these are kind of expenses: living expenses, groceries, domestic help, house. Now this is for your complete household expenses: telephone, internet, electricity, other utilities, conveyance, healthcare. Or this may be excluding your child expense. So once you have exclude your child expenses, now you have the household budget for all other expenses. And this is where all these expenses will be maintained. Fixed variable expenses, living expenses, we look at transportation, fuel, maintenance, parking fees, insurance, children expenses. Now if you have a sibling, then tuition fees, extracurricular activities, the school fees, premiums, any life, health, disability, home insurance, any EMI outgo. So this is a general saving expense budget sheet you see, or even if you Google it, you will find these kind of budget sheet for the family household. And discretionary expenses like clothing, personal care, self, spouse, dry cleaning, so traveling, vacation, gifting. And in the end, you have the special child expenses, which you have identified separately. This is your total family expense. The total child expense, total discretionary expenses, and total fixed and variable expenses. Combine these three is your family expense. So when you have a special need child, managing an expense sheet like this is very, very helpful for you to know very well what kind of money or what kind of saving you can have, or most importantly, making you aware about the cash flow. So that was preparing a budget. How do you prepare a budget? Is basically managing the expense sheet. Now you have your income, so you know what all income you can draw, whether it's from salary, pension, your investment income. So once you know your income, once you know your expenses, then you know very well how much you to save. Income we can all identify, but it's mainly the expenses where you have to work on, where you know you should be creating a separate budget for the special needs child. Some points to ponder: include all probable expenses such as support, equipment cost, etc. All kind of expenses which is now or in the future we should include. Creating budget for first time, you will have to start with some assumptions you are not aware of. To start with some kind of assumptions, and you do not need software. A simple tool like Excel can do wonders for you. Monitor expenses for few months. You will bring accuracy. You will be knowing much better how your expenses are. Discretionary expenses: collect bills, pen down if bill is not available, make diary, or whatever means you can utilize to monitor them, monitor these expenses. Benefit: accommodate changes in the budget with child life stages. These are going to change. Some expenses goes down, some expenses goes up, some are removed, some are added. So you can accommodate changes in your expenses. So a takeaway: simple tool. It's a simple tool. Budgeting is a very, very simple tool to use. A measure to keep check on your outflow so that you can save money for your goals. So it's just a check. It's a very, very good check on your outflows because you need more savings for your child. With a special need child, it becomes more important. And you have to plan for two generations who need money for both. And when you need money in the future, you need to know today where your money is going so that you can save more. And so if you are not still following it, it's good to start today and plan for the future. So that's about budgeting. I have spoken, basics on how you should, why budgeting is important and why you should follow budgeting, because uh, this is the basics of any financial planning where you need to start. And most of the families do not follow a separate budget for special child, but that is very, very important because that helps you to manage your outflows. That helps you to identify the future financial requirements. Now, any kind of questions, I am happy to answer.
Yes, very nice information. And starting of the budgeting is the important thing. Okay. Any questions, parents? You can raise your hands and unmute yourself. Any questions on this? Yeah, Paramita, ma'am.
Hi, thank you so much for this. Would you be able to share the PowerPoint presentation? That's on number one question. Number two is that while I understand the categories, um, is there an estimate in terms of what education looks like? I'm not talking about inflation, etc., and those normal parameters under which we will go through, etc., which I'm
Mhm.
sure every financial planner will do. But what I'm
Mhm.
talking about is, are there any hidden expenses, surprises coming up, which we can sort of plan for the future, for the next generation, as you say? So I'll give you an example. When I was doing my planning, I took into consideration that after retirement, I'm going to have X number of expenses for my household. I'm probably going to have to support my child's education through college or whatever. But also, if they are in different parts of India or wherever, there will be a journey cost, there will be a living cost, etc. There will also be my trips to their hostel, etc. So those kind of small things, but which add up. Tara, can you tell us more?
So, see, one is surely it is difficult to estimate, what kind of expenses these are coming in, and estimations of whatever we make today are surely assumptions. But all of these, are part of planning, where you have to take, both aspects into consideration when you are doing planning. What if the child is going to reside in India? What if the child is going to, maybe study outside? And then you can plan it much better. uh, as I said, estimations of, yes, what are the kind of expenses you would have in the future, uh, based on what today's expenses are. Those kind of estimations are available, and those kind of estimation we do generally when we are planning. But even when you are planning for your retirement, there are n number of probabilities you have to take today, right? When you are identifying a corpus, and when that corpus has to be utilized, now whether those expenses are going to be in the same city or in another city, whether how much, what is the lifespan. So all of these kind of assumptions, all of these certain estimations are available today. Your planning has to be based on that estimation. But I would say you have to make, you have to take on uh, both probabilities, and then you have to plan. I hope I'm able to answer that question, because any specific on what kind of expenses you have. So as I said, there are estimations available, and it's up to us what kind of an estimation we want to take. Whether on education or whether on living standard. But as I said, you have to include both in the planning, and then you have to identify the financial requirements.
Yes, thank you, sir, for this. I very well explained. Any other questions, parents? You can go ahead with your questions. No questions? Okay, I think very well explained, sir. Anybody wants to say anything? Then,
I'm sorry, I have one more question. This is
Yeah,
Paramita again.
yeah.
yes.
Would there be any insight that you can provide about tax benefits that we can get from therapies, etc. right now? I'm sorry if you've already answered this question. I lost internet connectivity for a while.
No, no, no. I haven't talked on tax specific, because tax planning is a different webinar we do. This was today's, was mainly on budgeting, how to follow your budget, how to monitor your expenses. With regards to tax planning or tax benefit on therapies and all other, there is only one tax benefit which is there in income tax, where you can claim a certain amount for the expenses, the money you are spending on your child, expenses. So there is a section 80DD, where you can claim up to 75,000, for the amount of expenses, for your child, and that is a deduction from your income. That's not a direct tax benefit, but that's a deduction from your income which you get. So that is the only tax benefit which is available, which you can claim. I hope that's what you were questioning on, what kind of tax benefit available on the money
Yes,
which you're spending on your child. Uh,
that's right.
so
That's right. Yes.
that's the income tax section, which is there, where you can look at that section, and you can claim a deduction on your from your income on the expenses you are having on your child.
Fair enough. Thank you so much. Would you be able to share the PPT with us?
I think it's being recorded also, so the recording will also be shared with you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. We
Thank you
are
so much.
recordings, and we are sharing it on Facebook and also on YouTube. So you will get all the recordings there. I mean, no problem with all these things. So I think no more question. We can move ahead, sir. I would
Yes.
to just want to make one announcement again. Here is like we have started with early bird registration for our summit, national summit for special needs 2021. So if you haven't enrolled in early bird, I would suggest that you please go ahead and enroll yourself. I'll just take a 2 minutes and I'll show you how you can go about it. Just 1 minute. Yes, it's available on our website. You can see sneakreapp.com. I've already shared the links also. So early bird registration we have started for just 10 days. You can register yourself, and if you're a parent, you can click on this image. Group registration is also available for 10 parents and professional registrations. We are going to cover various topics that are listed already on the website. You can go through these. We have 4 days of summit coming up. Many 15, 25, 20 to 25 speakers are with us to talk on this. So just wanted to just quickly I ran through this thing. Okay. So I think we can stop here for today. Parents, we are going to series of this financial planning and estate planning. So we'll be having all the topics, small topics, so that we'll get better idea of all the topics that in overall. So today was the start of that series. We will continue with this in future. And thank you so much for attending. And thank you so much, Jitendra sir.
Thank you.
I mean, you are giving a wonderful guidance for the our SNCC platform.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.
Nice. Thank you.